Hi, everyone. It is another rendezvous of my voice, your voice, and I am so excited to be hosting my friend, Dr. Nicoline Ambe. Hi, Dr. Nicoline. You are welcome on board.
Hello, my powerhouse sister. Thank you for welcoming me on your platform.
I am Rene Anita, and this is my voice, your voice. And today I'm talking with Dr. Nicoline Ambe. She is an inspirational speaker and women's travel advisor. She has taught in several universities, colleges, and elementary schools across Canada and the United States for more than 2 decades. She has mentored several moms and dads to develop strong relationships with their children and help them succeed in school and life. As the years roll by, Dr. Ambe's passion is to inspire women to reinvent themselves through travel and blossom at any age. She believes that no matter where you are in life or what you may have been through, you can overcome difficulties and step into a better version of yourself. She helps women start their own travel businesses and travel platforms. She also books travel for women and women's group. She's available to speak on the 5 steps to reinvent yourself, in which she teaches women to elevate themselves and enjoy better life experiences by traveling the world. You can see more about Dr. Nicoline Ambe on her website, www.nicolineambe.com. We are going to put the link in the comments section. First, Dr. Nicoline Ambe, let me say I'm incredibly happy to have you join us on My Voice, Your Voice. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
How are you, my sister?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for welcoming me.
I'm okay, though a bit, this time I'm a bit anxious, but I am doing well.
That's good.
So how are you taking care of your body, soul, and mind at this time?
Yes, as you said, you're anxious, and a lot of us have been home for several months, and I've been finding ways to really stay focused, finding ways to just breathe. And what I've been doing mostly is working on my travel business, working on the platform, as you can tell. I have also been spending a lot of time with my children, spending time at home in the kitchen, cooking every day. I've been listening to good gospel music. I've been praying a lot. And so I've been doing all of the things that I need to do to stay fit, to stay healthy, emotionally sound, and spiritually sound.
Oh, wow. I love the emotionally sound and spiritually sound. Thank you for reminding us that we have to be emotionally sound and spiritually sound. Dr. Ambe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Nicoline Ambe. I am, first of all, a mom. I'm a mother of 3 girls and 1 son. I'm also a teacher by profession. I teach special needs students. I'm also a wife to be. I'm engaged to an amazing guy,
Oh,
and
wow.
sadly, yes, and also I'm a travel advisor. I book travel for women's groups and for women, and I also help other women start their own travel businesses from home.
Oh, wow. You have a lot on your plate. How do you grapple with all of this?
You know, you will do the things that you want to do. If it's important to you, you will find time to do it. So I'm very, very organized. I get a lot of things done. I maintain a to-do list every day. I do the 3 most important things that I need to do for that day. I write them down on my calendar and I get them done. So we're going to do the things that are important for us to do. So that's what I do. Just stay really organized and checking off my to-do list.
I think that's one thing I need to learn from you. Making a to-do list, because sometimes I'm just so overwhelmed with the things I have to do. So thank you for sharing that. So before I start asking Dr. Nicoline Ambe some questions, I would like to talk about how we met and why we are working together. One of the things that made us to be hooked to each other, I like to use the word hook because we are not going anywhere, we are together. It's because we have the passion of working with women. We want to see women advance to higher heights. We want to see them blossom, using Nicoline's words. And so because we had this passion and of course a passion for traveling, we just saw each other, liked each other, and we became travel business partners. We are together in the powerhouse. You will hear about the powerhouse as we go along. And so, Dr. Nicoline Ambe, what inspires you to work with women?
You know, I completed just a little backstory, completed my degrees, master's degree, PhD degree at 30 years old, and then I started to teach. So I taught for several years, about 20 years. And during the time that I was teaching, I felt that a lot of my students who were designated as having a disability were really not disabled in the strictest sense. I felt that parental involvement was crucial in helping them succeed. So I established a platform that would help parents support their children, bond with them at home, and help them succeed in school. And so that was very well received. The platform was very well received. I traveled all over the United States speaking, and I still get a lot of calls of people inviting me to speak, and a lot of children who want to get my advice and mentorship. So unfortunately, you know, as I get older, my passion started to shift. So I'm no longer doing that work. My heart really is, as I get older and I think about the future and my life, my children, I shifted my passion to working with women. And I've always worked with women. My master's degree and my PhD degrees are all on women, women's rights, feminist rights. So I've studied women, and I'm also a woman. So I've always had that passion to work with women. And so as I get older, I feel that I want to really spend more time with women. I want to be able to acknowledge the fact that my experiences, my life experiences, the thing that I've done in my life, my journey, are all an integral part of who I am as a woman. And so I want to begin to look at those stories in the face and really address how I feel as a woman, and then connect with other women um, in that same space also, where we can all support each other, we can all be inspired by each other, and we can grow our capacity and be the woman that God designed us to be. So it's just a passion that has always been there for me. But you know, when you're in a career field, you just kind of follow the path of the career, and you don't stop to think about what you really want. And so in this pandemic, really, I've really had the opportunity to look at it clearly and to think about how I want to tailor my travel business. And I think I'm in the right place now. I think that my passion for women is very exciting. And I think that I'm adding value to that group, specifically that group of women.
I can see you blossoming already. So
Thank you.
I am so glad to be in this business with you because, like you said, I have worked with women for the past 30 years. And that is one of the reasons why I had to set this platform, because women have very inspiring stories that they don't have a platform to tell the stories. And sometimes they are in their corners and they feel that they are all alone. Sometimes they think that maybe something is happening to them because they are bad people, and they just keep wallowing in self-pity. And I've always seen how amazed they become when I give them the opportunity to talk with each other, to share their stories, share their experiences, challenges, and successes. Then they know that they are not alone. And one of the things which I love very much, Dr. Brené Brown in her book, Dare to Lead, says, we have to own our stories. Because when we own our stories, we take the power of judgment from others and we get to write the ending of our stories. If you don't own your story, the story will disown you and will keep you captive. So that is why we are here to share our stories. Like I always want to say, I implore you to listen. Listen without judgment. Listen without criticizing. Listen to feel. That is why we are here, just to inspire women with our stories. We are not here to shame and name anybody. We are just here to tell you what we have gone through so that you can also know that if we have been able to go through these stages of life and we can still sit here and talk and have a broad smile on our faces, then you too can do it. So Dr. Nicoline, I would like to ask you, if you don't mind, to share a bit of your story with our audience.
Yes, and I like what you said about sharing our stories. Our stories are very powerful, and our stories are not always meant for us. They're meant for us to share and enrich someone else's life. And well, a little bit about my story. I grew up a little girl in Cameroon, and I remember just being very shy girl, very introverted. And so I struggled very early on as a little girl. But there was really one passion that I had on my heart growing up as a girl child was the love of reading. I love to read. And talk about education being a tool for personal transformation. I've read my way through every problem in life. I've read my way through every obstacle. If I face an obstacle, I find a book, I find an audio, I listen to a mentor, I follow someone who's inspiring and is being able to help me come out of serious challenges. So reading has really positioned me throughout my life to solve major problems. Part of my story too, which many people, probably people who are just coming new into my life, is, the loss of my husband was very traumatizing for me. And I haven't shared this story before. I'm actually sharing it with you for the first time.
Oh, thank you for the honor,
You're
the privilege.
welcome. And I met him, in 1998. And 4 months after I met him, he fell ill. He had cancer. And so we were together for 16 years, raised three daughters and a son, and dealing with the entire, time that we had to really support him to heal. That was a struggle. And then ended up losing him in 2015. That was especially very painful. And then the aftermath too, dealing with people and opinions and things like that following his loss was also very, very debilitating. So in essence, that's my story, and it's been a challenging experience. I can't put it in words, and I've had to really find ways to heal, find ways to come out of it, and I think I'm in the process of doing that. I'm not there yet. I appear to be there, but I'm not there yet. And it's a process. Healing is a process, and it takes time. And so it is what it is, and we've done the best we can with my children to move on. And I would like to think that we've done well. And the story ends with me meeting someone else 5 years later, meeting a new gentleman in my life who is very kind, who's very caring, who's there for me. And so that's my story.
Oh, wow. You have a very interesting story. I'm so sorry to hear about the death of your husband, but I know life happens. And when life happens, we have to just trust God. So before I continue, I would like to acknowledge the audience that is watching. We have Dr. Wana Abose from the UK. He's watching. Thank you, Reverend. We have Vivian Anago. We have Brenda Ngwa. We have Immaculate B. Bridget Omikers is watching. Tomeka Gilma is watching. Zones Joy from the UK is watching. Zoe Zimmerman is watching. Thank you for watching. Bola Fusi, thank you. Anen Jakoi, thank you for watching. And so, Dr. Nicoline Ambe, having known you for the time that I've known you, I know you have gone through quite a number of challenges. But I want to ask you, what is the most challenging thing you have had to face, and how did you overcome this?
You're right. I think it was the loss of my husband, having to deal with that whole process. That was very, very traumatizing, very difficult for me and my children. And how I overcame it, that didn't take me out. That probably could have taken me out. So it was very difficult. But how I dealt with it was I really had to find time to spend time with myself, to think through my emotions, to process my thoughts, to calm myself down. And many times I had a lot of health challenges too as a result of it. And I really tried my best to stay, strong and healthy. But the one thing that I did was I started to journal, started to write. A lot of people write, journal their thoughts during this process. I try to be creative and I try to write, and I actually did write. When you and I were speaking yesterday, I didn't tell you about this book that I wrote that came out of that experience. It's called Blossom: 90 Words to Lift You During Your Season of Devastation. Yeah, I published this book and I'm not selling the book, by the way. I'm not promoting this book. I'm just sharing with you how I dealt with the experience. And this book was written in 2018, 3 years later. And I just pretty much in the book wrote my thoughts, wrote some words, empowering words, 90 words to lift you during your season of devastation. So I found 90 words that were healing, that were helpful for me in that time, and I wrote them down in the book. So that's how I dealt with it. I wrote and I took a lot of time for myself, and I focused on friends. I had a lot of wonderful, amazing friends who were very supportive, very kind, and I focused on those friends. But for everyone else, I just really found time to just pull back a little bit and focus on myself, my thoughts, my creativity, and getting stuff done.
Thank you, Dr. Nicoline Ambe, for sharing that. When I listened to your story, you made mention of the fact that when you met your husband and got married to him, 4 months after, he became ill, and you had to be with him for 15 years. I think that you are truly an amazing person to have been able to withstand this for 15 years, because another person would have gone away. So what made you to stick by him for 15 years, even though you knew that he was sick?
That's interesting that you said that, because a lot of people have said the same thing. And that thought never crossed my mind, never. And I think that for me, it would have been the ultimate betrayal to have walked away. Because at this point, you don't get married for advantages. You don't get married for benefits. You don't get married for the good things. You get married um, to support, to love, to care, to be there for your spouse when they need you most. So it never did cross my mind at all that there was another option. I was just thinking, we're going to get through this. We're going to dig deeper. We're going to get everyone involved and we're going to get through. We're going to do that. And we're going to also do all of the things that we need to do in our lives um, to move our lives forward. And that's what happened. You're muted.
How did you guard your emotional and mental mind throughout this period? Because I know sometimes emotionally, mentally, and when I say guard it from people, from what people will tell you, what friends will tell you, what family will tell you. How did you navigate this period?
Right. And you actually made reference to what I was going to talk about, that in this period, you don't listen to voices. You don't listen to the voices of others. You don't. You listen to your voice, and you listen to the voice of God. You don't call people up complaining. You don't call people up wailing. You just stay focused, because everything that you need to go through obstacles is already inside of you. We just have to tap into our own personal power, tap into our own strength, and tap into the power of God, and He will get you through every obstacle. And that's what I did. And even in the process, writing this book, which took me a few months, it takes absolute focus to be able to get things done. You have to really stay focused. And that's what pretty much I am. I have many friends whom I love dearly. I have many colleagues, but I'm also laser focused in the things that I need to do. So I guess you could say multitasking, multi-talented, in that I'm able to shift effectively to do the things that I need to do. But definitely you don't listen to voices. When you're down, you don't listen to voices. You listen to yourself, and you find the tools and resources and people that you need to help you move forward.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nicoline. When I see you sit here and talk about your life, it's so amazing because you are always having a smile on your face, and you are always encouraging others. And people who don't know you very closely might never know what you went through. And I am glad you mentioned that you found love again. That is so sweet.
Yes.
So, what will you tell a woman who is in the same situation in which you found yourself?
I think the first thing I would say is that you have to come home to yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to find the things that you love to do and do them. If you love to cook, cook more. If you love to garden, garden more. If you love to write, write more. If you have a passion and a dream in your heart, don't let that passion and that dream get away from you. Pursue it one step at a time. When you focus on the things that are important to you, everything else becomes small. When you magnify the things that are important to you, everything else diminishes. But also, it's important staying connected to your loved ones. You don't want to be isolated. You don't want to be an oasis. You want to be connected to the people that you care about. Reach out and check on people, check on them, how they're doing, support them in what they need, but also stay focused on yourself. That's what I would say. I don't know what else. I mean, I don't know, women react differently to situations, but you have to really think about what is best for you and what is good for you. Staying healthy, staying spiritually sound, making sure that you're creative and doing good work. Those are the things I think that would help any woman get out of tight situations. And in our culture, in Cameroon, just the Cameroon culture as a whole, it's very difficult for women who lose their spouses. So it's probably more difficult for women at home than it is for us here. We have a lot more opportunities here than there at home. So I don't know, it just depends on the individual woman.
Thank you so much. I know out of adversity always comes something which is good. And out of your adversity, you did come out with your signature program, which you love so much, the 5 steps to reinvent yourself and blossom at any age. I would like you to tell us about the 5 steps to reinvent yourself and how you use this in your life to be who you are now, and how people listening to you can practice these 5 steps to blossom at any age.
Right. So the 5 steps to reinvent yourself are really part of my story that I just explained to you, and really getting out of it and finding ways to heal, finding ways to grow. I'm generally a very passionate person. I like to make use of my time. I want to make sure that every minute of my God-given time on earth is used for something productive. And so I created the 5 steps to reinvent yourself as a way of growing into a newer version of myself, and hopefully sharing that with women as well. And the first step to reinvent yourself for me is to decide to let go of the old version of yourself. As people, there are things in our lives that are not very appealing, that do not help us communicate well in relationships, do not help us be the excellent employee that we ought to be, do not help us be the great mother that we should be. So there are things in our lives that we have to let go of in order to be the best us that we can be. And so things like bad habits, we have to let go of those bad habits. Habits, for example, unhealthy habits, we have to let go of unhealthy habits. We have to let go of the dependency on social media and watching TV. We have to let go of, excuses. Those are things we have to let go of in order to be a newer version, to reinvent ourselves. And so letting go of that and also developing a growth mindset, the desire to grow and to be a better person, and learning often and reading more and following shows like this to learn more. Those are ways to reinvent ourselves. That's one way. So making a decision and to surrender the old version of ourselves is very important. And then the second way to reinvent ourselves is clarity, is to have clarity about what you're going to step into. So when you let go of the old version of yourself, what are you stepping into? What does it look like? If you want to be a better mom, how does that look like? What are you doing with your daughter or your son that will make you a better mom? If you want to be a better wife, how does that look like? How are you communicating with your spouse? How are you treating him or her? Um, so you have to be able to see with clarity how that new version of yourself looks like. And so one of the ways of, or two ways of gaining clarity is to eliminate distractions, is to stop looking at other people's lives, stop checking here and checking there and watching how other people live. Some people do that and feel that, oh, I wish I could make as much money as them. I wish I was as successful as them. I wish I could dress like them. I wish I could speak like them. And so when you do that, when you're distracted in those ways, you devalue yourself. The things that you do are no longer important to you, or no longer important. So it's important that we watch out for distractions, and also keeping that to-do list is important, making a list of the things that you need to do for that day, and truly just focusing on the things that matter to you, and having clarity on those things. So decision, number one, letting go, surrendering your old self, and gaining clarity about the new version and what it looks like. Those are the, 2 steps. And then we
Okay,
can.
if I may come in there, these 2 steps, decide, clarity, they do tie with the law of self-awareness, which states that you must know yourself to grow yourself. If you don't know yourself, if you don't take time to identify all of this which you listed, you won't be able to let them go. And as a personal development coach, we always do say you must be able to let go of things of lesser value in order to be able to acquire things of greater value, because
Mhm.
success is always uphill, not downhill. So can you give us an example of a particular area in which you let go of something and how that has influenced your life and made you blossom at this age?
Let me think. I'm always trying to, I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, you would say. But one thing that I have let go of that was really holding me back in a way. Oh, this is when we get really vulnerable,
I
okay?
know it's a
No
platform
judgments.
it's a platform for authentic conversation. That's why we are here.
I used to drink a lot of red wine. I used to
Okay.
drink a lot of red wine. I would sometimes feel so sad, I would take a bottle of red wine and then go to bed. And the next morning, I won't walk well, I won't process well, I'll be slow. So that was a habit that I had to let go of. And I have successfully let go of that habit.
Oh wow, congratulations. This platform, if you look at the catchword, it's a platform for authentic conversation. Nobody's going to judge you. I know I have been in that position. I might not have been through the same things that you have gone through, but we all do get those low moments in life. And sometimes you think that drowning yourself in alcohol is the best solution because it kicks you off and you go to bed. But then you get up the next morning, you have a hangover, and you discover that all the problems that you thought you had drowned in the alcohol, they are
I'm
there
still
right in
there.
front of you,
True
looking you
story.
right into your eyes. And so it is only when you take time to gain this clarity and decide, like you did, that enough is enough. This is not the way I'm going to get out of it. I need to seize my power. So I don't judge you. Anybody who is going to judge you should come to this platform and be ready to be vulnerable and tell us his or her own story.
That's right.
So we just talked about 2 steps. So we still have 5 steps.
Yes, the third step is to stay connected to God. And in fact, I posted today on my Facebook page that you grow and change by the grace of God. You become a new creature, a new being when you're connected to Christ. So, in connecting to God, we have to activate our faith, meaning that we don't just pray for the sake of praying, we don't just know God for the sake of knowing God. We actually seek God so that we can activate his words in our lives, the words in the Bible, and bring them to life and believe them and hold them as promises that he has made for us. So activating our faith is important, and also praying often for vision, praying for clarity, and praying for the energy to achieve our goals, to achieve the things that we want to achieve. Um, so that's staying connected to God. That's the third step to reinvent yourself. And then the fourth step is to celebrate, is to give yourself credit for all of the things that you have accomplished. You know, sometimes we belittle our efforts, we belittle our successes, the things that we work so hard for, we look down upon them as if it's nothing. But we have to start taking a good look at the things that we've accomplished and giving ourselves a pat on the back for doing those things. Even if it's just giving your son or your daughter a hug, that is something to celebrate. That's a good thing. If you give someone a smile on the street, that's a good thing. That's something to celebrate. So no matter how small it may appear, we have to always give ourselves credit for the things that we have done that is worthy. And so not being hard on ourselves, because the world, life has already dealt enough blow to many of us, so we can't participate in our own victimization. And also just being kind to ourselves, being kind in terms of being that voice that you want to hear, being that friend that you want to be, being that friend to yourself that you need, being that coach to yourself that you need. So that's celebrating. That's so key. That's so key, because nothing succeeds like success. The more you feel that you're celebrating yourself, the more successful you feel about the things you've done, then the more successful you will be. So that's key.
Thank you so much for sharing that part with us, because I feel guilty. A lot of people who know me, they feel I have done a lot and I've succeeded a lot, but they will be surprised that on the contrary, I don't feel like that. I used to beat myself, and I later on discovered that I need to be able to celebrate the little things that I've been able to do for me to be able to do what I want to do. Maybe sometimes my friends tell me you are too ambitious. Maybe that's the reason why I am like that. But it is not only me. I happen to have attended a workshop where the lady was talking about your hype moments. Your hype moments. You have to actually sit down and write them. She even did a small journal of your hype moments, where you can sit every day and you record the little things that you have done that day and they have been successful. You can
Mhm.
always give yourself a pat on the back and stop beating yourself. Then it goes a long way to also help you check the things you say to yourself. You know, we talk to ourselves a lot. For example, you do something and you didn't succeed, and you tell yourself, oh, I am so dumb. I am
Oh,
so stupid. That's
mhm.
what we always tell ourselves. But can you tell somebody that? You can't bring yourself to tell somebody you are dumb, you are stupid. But we do tell ourselves every day. And the subconscious mind keeps everything you say to it. And what happens is, when you keep telling yourself how stupid, how dumb, or you keep devaluing yourself, those are the records that your subconscious mind will play back to you. It will
Mhm.
keep reminding you, oh, remember you are dumb. Remember you are stupid. And so you have to really, really connect with the word of God, as you said. You have to be able to celebrate, because when you celebrate yourself, you tend to forgive yourself for the things that you did. Because when we pray to God to forgive us, the tendency is God forgives us and we don't forgive ourselves. We keep thinking about those things and beating ourselves about those things. And what I always say, and I keep saying each time I have an opportunity to speak, is the value that you place on yourself, it's the value that people will place on you. If you place a lower value on yourself, that's the value people will place on you. You have to show the world how you want to be loved. If you don't show them how you want to be loved, if you want flowers on Valentine's Day, rather than sit and expect that your partner or your children will give you flowers on Valentine's Day and they don't give it, and you start feeling that you are not loved, let them know that you love flowers on Valentine's Day and they are going to give you, and you'll be happy. I shared this, like you said, we are here to be vulnerable. There was a time in my family where I practically felt so down. And trust me, I joined you. I used to get a bottle of wine and just drink. And my husband would tell me, so no, you don't have to do this. For if not for me, for the sake of the children. And you know why I was doing that? I felt like I was not loved, because I did a lot of things and I became so pressured and so depressed. I felt like I was alone in this world. So
Mhm.
I remember when we had a small family meeting, because I usually have in my home, we have family meetings with our children,
Mhm.
even from when they were small, and we gave them the opportunity to tell us what they like and what they don't like, so we can change it. So we did this every month, and we have a minutes book for it. So my children are very free to tell you to your face what they think it's going on. So
Mhm.
during one of those meetings, I was telling them, I don't feel like you guys really care for me the way I care for you guys, because I'm always the one to sacrifice, and always. And my son, my first son, he said something to me which I will never forget. He said, Mom, what you fail to understand is we love you so much. he has his term. He said, we love you monumentally, but we may not love you in the way you expect. That was an aha moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
They love me in their own way, but I have my own way of seeing love. And I have not made them understand that this is how I feel that I am loved, so they can do the things to me. So I am also sharing this because I know there are a lot of people who are in that space.
Right.
Women, especially women from where you and I come from, there are some certain things that you are not allowed to ask for. And so you just sit and begrudgingly expect people to do it for you. But I tell people, if you want something, let your partner know. My husband knows. You dare not forget my birthday. Of course. But for him, it's not a big deal. He normally forgets his own birthday until we start wishing him happy birthday. So those are the things that you need to be able to celebrate, to see in yourself. You need to be able to tell your friends, your close family members, how you want to be loved, how you want to be treated, how you want to be valued. And when you do that, you will start coming out. So now I feel the love of my family, because now I understand that they love me in their own way. And I was expecting maybe them to love me in my own way, which was known only to me. And so you have to connect. How do you connect? By letting people know what you want and what you don't want. There is this saying that says, you are the sum total of the 5 people with whom you constantly interact. And if you know this to be true, could you speak into this? When you surround the people, yes, the
right.
people you surround yourself with,
Yes,
influence in some way your life.
absolutely. I mean, I think that says it all. You have to be surrounded with the people who are going in the same direction that you're going. You can't be surrounded with negative people who put you down, who shut down your goals when you tell them some things that you want to do and they say that's not a good idea, or why don't you do it this way? It's important to know who you share your ideas with and who is in your space, who can value you, support you, and think that you're worthy. That's very important in reinventing ourselves and being the best that we can be, is to be in that space. Sadly, many people are in toxic relationships, and it's bothersome for many. A lady yesterday inboxed me to talk about marriages, being in a marriage with someone who's not right for them. And it's a topic that I'm going to talk about, but being in that kind of space is very difficult for you to grow and to be the person that God designed you to be. And when you talked about asking for what you want, that was actually taking me to my last point, which is action. And that's what my action step is. You just rounded the 5 steps to reinvent yourself for me. The last point is action. Action is just knowing is not enough. You have to apply what you know. Wishing is not enough. You have to do the thing that you want to do. And in the context of a relationship, action means really asking for what it is that you want. Even in business, you have to ask for the sale. You have to ask for the contract. In the context of a relationship, you cannot assume that your partner knows what it is that you want. If they're doing something that you don't appreciate, they're treating you in ways that you don't appreciate, instead of assuming that they ought to know, you're supposed to know what I need. You're supposed to know what's good. You can tell them how you want to be treated, how you want to feel. And so, as women, that's always difficult for us to do, because we think that we're supposed to just be there to serve. We're supposed to just do because we're women. This is part of our lot. But you can't be intimidated by anyone. And we shouldn't care who it is. In your relationship, the only person that's really above you is God. It's only God who gives you instructions on what to do. So if you're feeling a certain way and you want to be treated a certain way, create time to talk to your spouse about how he makes you feel regarding that particular situation and how you want to be treated. So taking action by sharing your thoughts, your feelings, taking action by asking for what you want, but also you have to know what it is that you want. Before taking action, you have to know what you want. So be clear about what you want, know what it is that you want, and then you ask for what you want. Develop the courage to ask for what you want.
Thank you so much. What stood out from what you just said is you have to, first of all, know what you want. Because there are people, when you ask them, what do you want? They don't know. So if you don't know, how do you expect me to know? So that is a very, very important point. You have to know what you want, then do the ask.
Yes.
I also know that you are somebody who is into this travel business. You are a travel advisor for women and you really love traveling. How did you get into travel business?
Well, when I left my business as a speaker for parents, I wanted more, as I said, I think that in my 50s and 60s, we're in the sunset of our lives. It's time to really do the thing that you love to do and get into it. And I love travel. That's what I want to do as I get older. I want to travel different places with my love and do all the things that I want to do. So I got into travel, first of all, because I love to travel. I want to travel. And second of all, I like the fact that it's leveraged income, meaning you do the work once and it pays you over time. Leverage residual income, building a team of people who love the business, who love to travel also and book travel, building a team of people who are doing that, and also earning residuals from that team effort. And I think that business module makes sense. When I was a speaker, I would travel all over the United States. I would go to Utah and Washington, D.C., Florida, Pennsylvania, all over the place. But if I couldn't work anymore, if I couldn't go, my income stops there. And so that model wasn't very good for me as I, get older. You're thinking about retirement. You're thinking about maintaining and conserving your energy, your physical energy. And so I needed a different kind of business model to satisfy that. And traveling, and also that model that came with traveling was exactly what I was looking for. And I'm just so blessed with the women that I'm partnered with. Look at you. I'm partnered with you. It's like food for my soul, being in this space with other women who are go-getters, who are powerhouse women, who are ambitious, who know who they are, who want to grow. It's just such a positive and inspiring space. And I'm learning so much from you, picking your brain as a John Maxwell certified coach. I tried to enroll in that program, but I saw the fees. I was like, I'll check back in with you later. I said,
Okay.
for now, I'm just gonna, work with you and see what I can gain from your knowledge and expertise being a John Maxwell certified coach. So I am exactly where I need to be with the people that I need to be with at this moment.
So how did travel help to heal you during your down moments?
Travel, I just started travel about a year ago. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been, working on several travel groups now
Mm-hmm.
that I've been booking and also just getting away. I went to my sister's wedding last year in Jamaica, and I had never been to Jamaica. I had never been to an all-inclusive resort, never, ever been. And it was just around that time too that I became a travel agent, a travel advisor. When I got to Jamaica to this all-inclusive resort was a Grand Moon Palace. I was absolutely blown away. I had never seen anything like that. The stretch of beach, the clear blue skies, the palm trees, people relaxing. I never experienced that. So it was an exciting moment for me. And I felt at that time that, yes, this is life. This is how I want to live. Unfortunately, coincidentally, I had started my business, I think, about a month before then. So I felt like I was in the right place. And I definitely look forward to, I'm setting up some group trips now for women. I've set up one for the Bahamas. I'm going to set one up for Puerto Rico. So I'm setting up some group trips now, and I'm really, truly excited to use any free time I have to just get away and bring some women along with me.
Thank you, Dr. Nicoline. You are truly a talented person, and I love working with you. And I am so happy to be part of your travel team. For me, traveling actually started in 2011 when I did decide to give myself some space. I wanted something which I could do for me, for myself. So I took a resolution that each year I had to visit one continent. And when I went to Italy and went to Venice, we all know about Merchant of Venice. I was so excited to go to Venice. And one of the experience that has stayed with me when I went to Venice was when we went to Venice. Venice is a city on the sea, it's on water.
Mhm.
So you have to use the water taxis. They call them there the gondolas.
Okay.
Yours truly, I have never en- entered a boat. You know, even though we are from Cameroon, we are from the northwest side of the country. We don't have seas, and so I was so afraid of water,
Mhm.
and I had to enter a gondola because we had to go to San Marco Square, the square where it's believed that the relics of Saint Mark in the
Mhm.
Bible were taken from Egypt and put in the church there. It's like a monument. Tourists come there and visit. We had to go there, and I wanted to see it. And the only choice I had was the water taxi. Oh my God. I saw everybody boarding the water taxi but for me. So I had to muster courage and jump into the boat. And mind you, it's not covered. It's like this engine boat, and it's just speeding, and sometimes water even splashes on you. I entered that thing and I shouted all through the journeys, and I came back. But that gave me courage. Why am I sharing this? I am sharing this because sometimes people think that buying a big house, buying a big car, buying any other thing is a true representation of what you want. But I want to tell you that travel is the most you can do for yourself, because travel comes with experiences that will never, never go away. And in life, what we think about, what we go through life with, are our experiences.
Mhm.
I was so privileged to visit one of the seven wonders of the world, the hanging pillar of Pisa. I actually went, saw,
Okay.
climbed right up, and I was like, wow, this now when they talk about, I went to Michelangelo's museum, I saw and all of those things. And I tell you, my dear sister, that changed my mindset. It changed the trajectory of my mind. And from then I've been traveling, because I used to tell my friends when I go back to Cameroon, when I was still in Cameroon, they tell me, oh, you travel because you have a lot of money. I said, no, it's not because I have a lot of money, but it is because it is my priority.
Right.
I
And you
gave an analogy. I said, if you calculate the dresses you buy, 100,000, take 8 of them. That's my ticket to and fro. You will buy dresses, I will buy a travel ticket, because I know what I'm going to get. So I'm also telling the women, telling people who are watching us to know that traveling is another way to give yourself some space. It's another way to meet with other people, listen to them. When you listen to other people from different ethnic backgrounds, you now understand that we are the same, irrespective of our color, irrespective of our race. We all have the same problems. We feel the same. So if you are interested in setting up a travel business, you can contact Dr. Nicoline Ambe, or you can contact me. She is specialized in women's retreat. I do educational travel because one of my strong skills is I'm a learner. I love to learn. So I do educative travel, and I am planning a travel for next year to the Holy Land. So if you are interested, just let us know. We are always here. Like we said, travel just needs planning. We can talk about this. As an accountant, if I have to travel in December, I set up a travel fund in January and I start saving for that fund. So when I travel in December, I travel free, stress free. It's a commitment. Like doctor said, you have to write your priorities. I've just been 2 years without traveling, Dr. Nicoline, and I'm like, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I can't wait.
I know.
I can't wait to travel because it revitalizes you and it refreshes you and gives you energy. That's
Right.
really something that reinvents you. So join us,
Right.
contact us, go to her website. You can inbox me and we will tell you how to get into this. We do it for fun, first of all, and also extra income.
Right.
So, Dr. Nicoline, I don't know if you have one last word. We always want to be respectful of the time of our audience. It's almost getting to the top of the hour. Can you imagine that?
This? Oh,
Yeah, it's almost getting, we have 4
nice.
minutes to the top of the hour. So, if you have one last word for the people watching, what
Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone who's taken the time to join us today. We know that you're very busy, but we appreciate you being here. Sometimes it's live videos, you just click in for 1 second and you click out. But thank you if you stayed through, and thank you if you stayed longer. We just really want to inspire everyone to just trust yourself more. Trust yourself more. If you have things that you're struggling with in your life, trust yourself more and find opportunities like my sister said, to get away. Travel makes you see the bigger picture. Travel helps you see the universe, to see God's abundance in the universe. You see the blue sky, you see the vast ocean, you see the earth, you see the trees. And it reminds you that you're heir to that. You're heir to that. If He created that for the earth, then imagine what He has put inside of you. So making sure that you create your destinations of choice, the places that you want to go to, write them down and take action and just go. Go with your families, go by yourself, go so that you can get some space and think through your own life. And we are here for you. My sister and I are here for you, and we'll be happy to connect with you and to work with you, and or to book travel with you. So again, thank you, and thank you so much, my powerhouse sister, for this amazing platform. And I look forward to following this journey and seeing where you go with it. I appreciate you.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for accepting to be featured on this platform. Like I said, My Voice, Your Voice is a platform for authentic conversations. We are just here to share, to converse with each other. So people who are following us, I want to thank all of those who have been with us. I can see Quinta Mancho. She says your first job is to know who you are. By knowing your worth will lead to growth in oneself. Thank you so much, Quinta. You are absolutely right. I want to
She
thank
did a
Saint.
wonderful job yesterday too.
I
So
saw. I can see Saint John. She says, anytime you succeed or attempt to do something, there is always value added. Thank you so much. So I can also see Vivian Anago says red wine is good. Yes, it's good. When you take it in moderation, sweetheart. Thank you. I can see Joy says Godspeed. Thank you, Joy. We do really need Godspeed. Oh, Tomeka was here. Dr. Nicoline, they say, I'm so happy you found new love. I can only imagine losing a spouse. You are a strong, God-fearing woman. Thank you so much for appreciating my sister. It is a good thing to not feel like I am the only one. Thank you, Tomeka Gilma. This is why we started the show, so we can know that we are not alone. Vivian also says sometimes my to-do list is unrealistic. Girl, you have to make it realistic. It's you writing all the items on your list. You have to trim it down and make it realistic. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. I know you are all here watching. Some people might not have been able to tune in. Please do share it on your page. Encourage people to watch. They will love to listen to Dr. Nicoline Ambe. She has really shared a lot of nuggets that if you apply them in your life, you will be able to blossom at any age, just like she is blossoming. Dr. Nicoline, I like the way you look. You preach what you live.
Thank you, my dear.
And that's one of the ways of being authentic. So I am so happy that we had time to have this conversation. And this is just the beginning. When you spoke about marriage, that's one of the things we would like to talk about, especially, in our African context. There are a lot of people who are stuck in toxic marriages because of the customs and traditions. What will people say if I leave? People don't want to think that they will be called divorcees. But I think that is something we need to come out and talk about, because there are a lot of people who will tell you, oh, I'm in there because of my children. But that's not what you should do. God did not create you to survive. He created you to thrive.
Thrive.
Yes. And so you should not be surviving in life. So thank you so much. I just want to recap the different stages of the 5 steps to reinvent yourself in case you started late. Step 1 is decide. Step 2 is clarity. Step 3 is connect. Step 4, celebrate. And step 5, action. So if you follow these steps in your own way, not as Dr. Nicoline has said, or I have said, because we are all individuals and we are unique and we have our different likes and dislikes. Just follow what is good for you, and your life, I tell you, my dear sister and friend, will never be the same. If we could do it, you can do it. When you see us here, it is not because we have had it easy. It is not because our life was maybe a bed of roses. No, we have had to go through all the challenges that all of you are going through. But you know what? Your present circumstances will never define your future unless you give it permission to do so. Don't give that permission. We love you so much. Again, it has been my voice, your voice. I am Rene Anita, and I'm an executive director with the John Maxwell team. I do also do coaching. If you think you need to talk to somebody, I offer 30 minutes free or complimentary coaching sessions. We can just talk about what you want us to talk about, because as coaches, we believe that the answers are always in you. You are not just consciously aware of it. So your story has power. Don't keep quiet. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.